Welcome back, America. Increasingly, people of faith are exercising their muscle in the marketplace. We've seen it, whether it's taking down a beer for a bad idea or getting a major chain to stop selling abortion drugs. The evidence is in more and more clear that Christians can have a big role in the marketplace. Joining us now is the CEO of Inspire Investing and author of a great book called Biblically Responsible Investing on Wall Street as It Is in Heaven. What a great idea. Robert Netzly. Robert, good to have you on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me here, John.
All right. So Christians are a significant part of American society. They got $23 trillion of wealth in this country. When they spend it, they can help shape culture. They can make money, but they can also help shape culture. That's happening a lot more, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. $22.4 trillion in investment assets alone. That's about 50% of the entire investment market. To put that in context, BlackRock, one of the largest asset managers in the world, claims around 5 trillion, I believe, today. So you can imagine if we just got a little organized, the kind of impact we could have, and we're already seeing the fruits of that right now.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
So if somebody wants to invest after 10%, after they give their tithe, where would you direct them? How do they start?
Well, I mean, I would point into our company a little selfishly, but Inspire Investing, we're the world's largest provider of faith-based ETFs. We've got a number of products that compete head-to-head with any of the secular funds, except we don't invest in industries like abortion drugs or pornography sales, radical LGBT activism. So we exclude those bad actors so you can have a good conscience about where your money's actually coming from. Personally, I used to be an advisor at one of the big banks, and I stumbled across this concept and was really just gripped by it because here I was president of our local pro-life pregnancy center, and I was making money because I own 3 stocks of companies manufacturing abortion drugs in my own personal portfolio. So that was what started this journey so long ago. Now we're at $3.5 billion under management as a company.
Wow.
And the movement is growing. And as Christians have their eyes open to this huge problem that we're taking money, which we believe and know belongs to God, and we're putting it into things that not only break his heart and violate his commands, but also hurt people and tear down our society and violate our own deeply held values. And it simply doesn't have to be that way. And so we're encouraging people to kind of get their eyes opened and look around. So we've got some free tools on our website that can help you do that, inspireinvesting.com. I wrote a book, Biblically Responsible Investing on Wall Street as It Is in Heaven, that talks more about this, and would encourage you to look that up from Canon Press.
Yeah, very exciting. What a great idea. I think over the last decade, particularly as politics and secular society have tilted towards values that don't represent America, certainly don't represent the Judeo-Christian faith, there's been this extraordinary rise of a parallel economy. Everything that you can imagine, successful movies, successful books, successful stores. Where does that parallel economy movie move next? I guess soon with AI and the technology advances ahead of us, that's going to be a rich area for investment.
Sure. There's no end to the opportunity. It really is a huge blue ocean. And as we just really show that there is capital moving into these spaces, you see not only people of faith starting businesses and being successful themselves, but you see the secular world and established companies taking notice. We've seen this trend where we can actually influence corporations. You mentioned some of the impacts we've had. Most recently, you may have seen in the news, Costco making the decision not to sell the abortion drug mifepristone. This came at the end of about 1.5 years worth of shareholder engagement that we began as a firm to really try to keep them back from that ledge that CVS and Walgreens and some others had jumped off of head first. And we're just praising God that we can have that sort of impact. Walmart has made similar decision there. We've seen large companies like Exxon and Chevron stop giving money to Planned Parenthood and other abortion organizations in the past. So the list continues to grow, the sort of impact we can have while you invest with market rate returns, right? You don't have to sacrifice returns. You can invest in some of the best companies, biggest companies in the country, just not those that are engaged in these radical ideologies and again, tearing down society. So that's what our firm helps people do. It's a really exciting time to get involved, and it really is the sky's the limit.
It's exciting.
I want to ask you about a dynamic that we are seeing, because 5 years ago, even a few years ago in the Bud Light situation, companies, it seems like, were not as quickly reactive as they are now. I mean, you look at Cracker Barrel, and within a week of them announcing the change of their logo, and then within 16 hours of President Trump tweeting about it or posting on True Social about it, they reverted their decision. Is that because, is that timeline because people of traditional values, Christian values, conservative values are louder? Why do you think that's happening so much more quickly now?
I think we're getting more strategic. There's been a lot of voices over the years, decades, but I think those voices have been directed perhaps in the wrong avenues. You've had a lot of boycotts, which have their place. You've had picket signs out on steps and things of that nature, but we've been absent in the boardroom, and those are the people that make the decision. Meanwhile, you've got progressive leftist activists with extreme agendas that have been very effective in the boardroom for decades. Again, the $22.4 trillion that Christians own in this country, how much of that has been aligned for faith-based conservative values, voting shareholder proxies? Almost none of it. It's astonishing, but that's exactly what you would expect when you buy a secular mutual fund or ETF, like from a company like BlackRock. You're actually letting them vote for you. Many people don't realize that, but when you invest in a company like BlackRock, iShares, Vanguard's, fill in the blank, they get to vote for you on those corporate initiatives. So we need to take back our vote, take back our influence. Don't give your money to these woke Wall Street corporations and let them do with it what they will. Instead, invest with a company like ours or many of our colleagues. There's many options these days, and let's speak biblical truth to corporate power. And I think that's the big change. Certainly, you have a sea change in society. You've got the Donald Trump moment, the DEI rollbacks coming from the very top of our nation. You've seen the explosions of Budweiser and all of those things. And it's just coming to a crescendo. Now is the time. If there ever was a time, now is the time to realign your capital, to really promote the things that you would like to see flourish in this country, the biblical conservative values that are going to make America great again.
And you made such an important point. You don't have to sacrifice return on investment to invest in your values. That's what makes what you do so remarkable, Robert. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for creating such an extraordinary movement in America. Great to have you on the show today.
Praise God. Thank you for having me here.
It was a great conversation. Well, I'll get you back real soon. All right, folks, quick commercial break. When we come back, time for our weekly Just the News Health Update. We're going to a good one up ahead. We'll be right back. Hello, friends. John Solomon here from Just the News. In a time when trust in Washington is at an all-time low, more Americans are stepping up and getting involved, and AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is helping lead that effort. AMAC is the conservative alternative to AARP, and they're focused on protecting the values that built this country: faith, family, freedom, and personal responsibility, things you and I believe in. As a member, you'll receive exclusive discounts on travel, insurance, and healthcare services. You also get access to trusted tools and resources, plus a subscription to the AMAC magazine, one of my favorites, packed with information you can actually use. And here's the best part. When you choose a 5-year membership like I did, you'll save up to 33%. That's just over $1 a month. A small investment to help hold Washington accountable and support a movement of patriots committed to preserving America's future. Join millions of fellow patriots like myself. Visit amac.us/justnews and become a member today.